What's going on, guys? Matt Schaeffer back here with another Musaic audiophile build for you. This one is a Hi-Fi 2 Plus in a brand new BMW XM. So let's go ahead and check it out. Since I always start you off with the trunk, this is going to be the sub enclosure that we came up with. And I'm sure you can already see the design inspiration of the subwoofer enclosure. The headliner in the XM is the first thing that kind of stands out to me as, you know, the design cues of this car and where they were going with it. So to encapsulate that design that you see more towards the front of the headliner, we did the same thing here in our subwoofer enclosure. And we did a lot of firsts with this one. It was kind of a feat. We knew what we wanted to do. We wanted to have that 3D geometric design, and we wanted it to be the whole face of the subwoofer enclosure, and we wanted it to essentially wrap around. So this whole thing is kind of curved. It's kind of hard to tell because of all the different shapes, but it does curve from the subwoofer face all the way to the side. We mimicked the blue lights that you can see up in the headliner when the car is on, so all this illuminates blue. So if you're looking close at this, this is actually finished off in the same matching Alcantara suede as the headliner. So this was kind of a feat in itself because we had to create this large 3D printed face that all snapped together. So we printed it in multiple pieces, and then it was all wrapped in one piece of Alcantara suede. So you can imagine, based on this design here, how difficult that really was to wrap. We have the matching brown Alcantara suede that matches up there in the headliner. And then again, we have our blue lights, which are going to reside up underneath this area here behind these side panels. And then we also have this really cool blue light at the bottom that comes right out of that silver. And if you look up at the front of the car, it's going to be hard to see because it's daytime, but you have the same inset acrylic piece that are in these silver panels here. So we matched it perfectly. So this illuminates blue. We have the same thing in our subwoofer enclosure, and that's going to bring that detail to the enclosure. Looking again at that blue light there at the bottom, how we did it just like the interior. Again, we have two Focal 10-inch Utopia M10s in the back here, sealed enclosure. We built this enclosure a little large. It plays super low, sounds so freaking good inside this car. You have this really cool top insert panel that also continues that geometric shape, mathematical pattern that you see there at the top. Behind this panel here, you're going to notice a Helix V18 DSP amplifier. This is going to amplify all the factory Bowers & Wilkins speakers going through the car. So in this specific case, the client wanted to add subwoofers to the car, but the client wanted to reutilize his factory Bowers & Wilkins speakers. I've done some videos on what the Bowers & Wilkins speakers are, what a lot of the factory speakers that you get in systems like this actually consist of. Go ahead and check out those videos if you haven't seen them already. But we essentially re-amplified the factory speakers. In order to do a subwoofer correct in a car, you have to be able to control the timing and the phase of the subwoofers that you're installing in conjunction with the front speakers of the car, right? These subs have to be perfectly in phase with the front mid bass for these to image up front on the dashboard. So with that being said, we have to add a DSP into the car so we can utilize the factory speakers into the car. We just have to run it through that Helix V12 because that's going to allow us to control the timing of the front three ways, and it's going to also allow us to control the timing of the subwoofer so we can make sure everything is correct inside the car. Behind this Helix V18 amplifier, you're going to see a Helix P1 amplifier, which is going to power our two 10-inch Focal Utopia subs. We also have a preamp digital interface that is going to give us a perfect digital signal from the factory radio to our Helix V18 amplifier. So essentially everything still remains the same from the interior. The only difference is we have the Helix Conductor DSP controller, which you're going to find up here at the top. It's going to be a little bit difficult to see because of all the lighting reflections, but essentially we 3D scanned this area up top and we created this pod that's going to house our Helix Conductor DSP controller. It's going to house our Uniden R9 display, and then it's also going to house our controller here for our Uniden R9. We will do a separate video on that, but that whole face is essentially smoked acrylic and looks really, really clean. So this Helix Conductor sits behind smoked acrylic, and those lights illuminate through it to make it look like it's a factory panel. So other than that, again, everything remains pretty factory. We do have a mount for our Astel & Kern SP 4000. This is going to be utilized on his other vehicle as well. Actually, this was a pretty efficient upgrade. We were able to get more power, better amplification, better processing to our speakers in this car. We re-amplified all the factory speakers in this specific case. What this means is when we tuned our subwoofer perfectly images with the front stage of this vehicle now. So the sub sounds like it's coming from the area of the hood right in front of the dashboard, which is exactly where you want to hear it. We did do some sound treatment, obviously, behind some of the factory panels just to keep everything a little bit more tight when it comes to adding this subwoofer in the car. But again, other than that, we have 3 separate presets. Factory preset is going to be preset 1. That's going to run the factory radio just as it did like normal. Preset number 2 is going to be our higher resolution Bluetooth directly into our DSP amplifier. This is going to give us better Bluetooth streaming with no latency. So the audio and video of your phone or whatever the streaming device is going to be pretty much synced up. And then preset 3 is going to be that Astel & Kern handheld DAP. That's going to be our best route for audio inputting into this system here. But yeah, so this was a pretty efficient install. Didn't take a lot of stuff on the front end. We didn't have to replace any speakers. Obviously, it would sound much better if we did replace the speakers because that's going to be the weak point of this system currently. But at the end of the day, we're able to achieve a much better sound from the existing speakers inside the car. And of course, we added the subwoofers and added those correctly into the sound stage of the vehicle. So thank you guys so much for watching all of my videos. If this is the first video that you've seen us do, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you like the video, throw a comment, tell me what car you want to see next. Any of that kind of engagement will really help the algorithm, and I really appreciate it. Make sure you follow us on TikTok. You will see some of the videos on TikTok before they make their way onto YouTube. It's a little bit easier to edit there and get videos out a little bit quicker, so go check us out there on TikTok. Instagram, same thing. They have reels. We'll drop a lot of reels onto Instagram well before these jobs physically make it out to YouTube. So go ahead and follow us on Instagram. If you want to contact me personally for a job, here is my phone number followed by my email address. These are the 2 best points of contact for me personally. Go ahead, reach out if I can answer any questions for you or if you want to inquire about a build. Make sure you check out our website, musaicdesign.com. This is the best one-stop shop to see all the content that we've ever created, all the vehicles that we've done, the build logs, the build write-ups, the YouTube videos, the behind-the-scenes pictures, all of that in one easy-to-find place. And then finally, we have a podcast called the Old Fashioned Car Audio Podcast. If you're curious or just found out in this video, in order to add subwoofers correctly in a car, you have to add a DSP. If you want to learn stuff like this and hear us talk about it in more detail, go ahead and check us out on that podcast. We talk about stuff like this all the time and what is necessary in car audio in 2025, how to do things correctly, what to avoid if you are a consumer and want to become educated before you go to a local shop and inquire about this stuff. The podcast is a great way to educate yourself on what to do currently in cars to achieve better sound. It's streaming on all platforms. You can find us on Spotify and iTunes. And like always, guys, I appreciate the feedback, appreciate the follow, and
until next time, peace.